Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. If you're Claressa Shields, you can find yourself being talked about every single day by multiple YouTube channels, thousands of people across social media, maybe even millions of people who are watching these videos of her, and they're sitting here saying to themselves, you know what, man? Claressa Shields is one of the greatest women to ever touch boxing gloves. We know it. We don't need her to tell us, but we know she's going to tell us. But you just have to give her credit. We do that. One of the greatest women to ever touch a pair of boxing gloves. Some people are meant to swim as an athlete. Some are meant to play tennis. Some are meant to golf. Some are meant to run track. But no doubt Claressa Shields was meant to put on boxing gloves, get in the ring and put the bing bings on somebody. But fans say her personality, contradictions, and public choices are starting to overshadow her legacy. I've been saying a lot of this for a while, but it looks like some fans were just trying to just understand Claressa Shields. Accept her for who she is, understand her story from a little girl. You know, on my channel, I would never make jokes about any of that shit. But fans really were trying to understand her, man. But they're saying, you know what? We get it. We get it. Most fans watch the movie. When they listen to her, even though sometimes it's hard to listen to her when she's out here talking, they pick up on the stuff she says. Claressa Shields has a very interesting story, and she should really have all the support in the world from everybody. It's not just a black community thing. Everyone in the world should be supporting Claressa Shields. But fans say her personality, contradictions, public choices just really have overshadowed her legacy and really hurt this brand that she's trying to build. And I'll be honest with you, I totally understand why fans are saying that. I do. So my thing is, every day there seems to be something. You know what I mean? I haven't done many videos in the last couple of days because I'm out here chilling and busy with my sons. We out here having fun. This YouTube shit don't run me, man. I'm the retired guy that's out here chilling. But I have been paying attention. I keep my little ear to the street. So I said it's only right I drop a video here before the weekend starts. We have something to bubble up and talk about during our 9 p.m. live tomorrow. So my thing is, can she keep fans long term? Can Claressa Shields keep fans long term? Will major sponsors that she wants to attract, will they ever invest in her? And I know she's had some sponsorship deals and stuff before, but I'm talking about right now. And my other thing is, what does psychology say about relationships involving highly aggressive, outspoken personalities? And I'm not just talking about relationship with the fans. I'm talking about relationships between a man and woman and man. What does it say about highly aggressive, outspoken personalities, confrontational, combative? So I want to try to sit here and chit-chat about that because, you know, Claressa Shields is one of the most gifted combat athletes of her generation. Got to understand, she'll do that MMA stuff too. And she'll let you know, man, I'll fight you, but I can take you down. And if me outboxing you ain't working, if I can't grapple you and take you down, Claressa Shields will bite you. But although she's one of the most gifted combat athletes of her generation, her public perception has always been a tug of war between, I think, you know, like empathizing with her, some people sympathizing with her, some people, having admiration for her. Then there are those who criticize her. Then there's just seem to be some misunderstanding. Then there's the controversy. It's always something. Fans respect her ability. They respect her resume. They respect her sky high confidence. At the same time, many feel confused by the wildly shifting tone of her public persona. We don't know what we're gonna get from Claressa Shields. One day she's talking about this. I don't drink. Next day she out there, man. Everybody in the club get tipsy. You know what I'm saying? She out there, man. You know what I'm saying, man? Hey, yo, bartender, give me another round. Let's keep the party going. Because even I was shocked to see her there, man, taking shots to the head and shit. I'm like, what is this wicked sorcery? It's just crazy, man. Then you want to speak passionately about being a role model? Nobody's perfect. I want to make sure I understand that. No one's perfect. But you're going to be a role model for young women, inspiring the kids from all around the world, trying to improve women's boxing. I mean, is that what you're going to do? Then do it. Because that sounds good. Then you come out here the next moment, you go from talking to talk, but you ain't walking the walk because you're firing off confrontational responses online. You're hitting the goddamn bulls, dropping aggressive bars and rap videos, giving energy that contradicts. The role model message. Anybody out here think, oh, you're just being mean to Claressa? No, she's an adult. I'm an adult. We're talking about her. She's a boxer. If you think I'm wrong, go to fucking Twitter and look at the colorful language that she's using out there on Twitter. You go look at that, McNicholas. Take your big nose off my page. Y'all are the ones out here who the enablers. Y'all are dangerous. Let me tell you something. I really understand wanting to step into a villain role. I understand. Look at Jake Paul. To a certain extent, he's kind of assumed a villain role. Look at Floyd. I get it. But I never heard Floyd come out here and talk about wanting to be the inspiration to children. Jake Paul is not that bad, but he does things which, like the boxing bullies and all that. He has, Jake Paul, he has some things he does where you can actually see, okay. But he's not out here trying to force himself on us. Floyd never tried to force himself on us. But Claressa Shields is like she's trying to force herself on us to say, no, look at me and look at me. But we're looking at you. And what we're going to say is there's a stark contrast between you speaking passionately about being a role model and then coming out here being super confrontational, whether it's your music, an interview, your energy. It just creates cognitive dissonance for the public. They want to celebrate her greatness, but they struggle to reconcile the inspirational version. And this is the thing. What I'm picking up is people are just confused and shit. And they're tired, they're exhausted. Because I am telling you, I'm one, right, who really sitting back and I listen to, when I do the lives, I listen to what a lot of the ladies say. And remember, I can understand. I don't agree with a lot of it. But a lot of it I understand. There's some things I agree with. But I know some people, they're just upset with her. So I can filter through a lot of the emotion and say, oh, they're just mad. But there's certain things they say that jumps out, and I'm like, okay, I actually agree with that. But this thing about the contrast creating cognitive dissonance for the public is real, because a guy like me, I want to celebrate her greatness. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of fans who want to celebrate her greatness too, but they struggle to reconcile the inspirational version of Shields with the unfiltered, unapologetic, I am who I am, FUMFer version that dominates social media. Many fans, even those who ride with her, even they're admitting, man, they're just exhausted trying to figure out which version of Claressa they're supposed to accept. When you got, boxing icons out here just shaking their heads saying, that ain't it. That is not it. We expect more from you. Yeah, you can fight. You're a fighter. We understand you have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. When you cook beef, the smoke will never clear. We understand we're fighters. We get it. But you going about it all wrong. All wrong. You never shut up. You're always being distasteful and toxic and trashy and offensive. So I just think the more fans try to understand her, I just think the more she seems to resist their expectations. They say when people get a little bit of money, the real them come out. Some people are humble and cool as a fan. You never know they were in a good situation. Because it ain't about that. That doesn't mean shit. The biggest challenge for her is that she appears to be caught between multiple identities. I'm asking y'all, what's Claressa Shields? She a boxer? She an entertainer? Social media personality? She a comedian? She a rapper? Sometimes she a gangster. She Claressa E. Built like a tick, yet hard to hit. Ice Cube and Claressa E. co-running shit. A tough persona shit that doesn't match her calls for respect, unity, positively in the sport, and women, and we gotta support each other. Ladies' night out. Hey, ladies. Nah. Contradiction. But I gotta be real, she can be charismatic, hilarious, bold, and incredibly marketable, but she can also be confrontational, fiery, unpredictable, and trashy. Now she out here hitting the liquor. Tap the bottle in, twist the cap. Remember playing that shit up in high school, getting into shit. But for some athletes, this blends, I think this blend creates star power, and if people aren't talking about you, you're not doing your job. And everyone's talking about Claressa Shields. So that's a positive, but it's not, but it's just a positive. People are talking about you. I just say I ain't gonna say it's a positive, it's a box checked. Because you got some people out here, people don't talk about them at all. But I just think for Claressa, it creates mixed messaging that confuses both fans and major brands because they're like, what are we getting here? Someone who wants to be an inspiration and someone who wants to, come out here and have a confrontation, man, and sit here and fight everybody. So what do fans do? What do major brands do? Do you get behind somebody like her and support her? Or do you stay away? Because you don't know what you're going to get, hot and cold. You don't know what you're going to get. Think about her past conflicts, especially involving comments towards, which I ain't going to beat a dead horse. Layla, Muhammad, lately Shadesha Green, shit about Katie Taylor, Amanda Serrano. I mean, I can go on and on about everybody she has shit to say about Baumgartner. I mean, we can stop right there. I need to talk about the men she been going at too and whose ass she could whip. Let me tell you, all that stuff for her past conflicts and her the buffoonery coming from her still linger in the public consciousness, man. Even though time has passed and many fans want to move on, those moments left scars, you know what I'm saying? And when a fighter publicly expresses admiration for legacy, greatness, and respect in boxing, but then gets into heated disputes with icons or their families, it forces the public to question whether her behavior lines up with her stated values, which they don't. Fans are willing to forgive. History proves that. Even Hood Champion has a soft spot in his heart for people. But forgiveness usually requires consistency afterward, and that's why I'm here doing these videos. And we talk about it because she's very consistent with being toxic, with being divisive. She's not consistent with trying to bring anyone together. And really, her fan base, she got some ride or dies, I ain't gonna lie. She got a couple of, ride or die. She got some crocodiles out there, swimming out there in them swamps and shit, just right there with her, ready to bite your head off just like her. But I just think for Claressa Shields to really get to where she wants to be, because this money shit, people need to understand that money don't mean nothing. You got 100,000, all right, 500,000, all right, $1 million, all right, $2 million, all right. I mean, it feels all right. 10, 20, 50 million, I don't know. But even if you have 100,000, 500, 1 million, 2 million, if you're not happy, if people don't like you, that shit takes a toll on you, man. That money can only help you deal with them problems so long. It's just Band-Aid fix, temporary. When you're laying your ass down, whether you're in a big house, small house, laying on a fucking piece of cardboard on the sidewalk, and you're all alone, them thoughts, shit start to come to you. That's why it's very important to be healthy mentally. I don't know, man. This thing about forgiveness, shit requires consistency afterward, man. But Shields challenges that her online presence swings rapidly between motivational speaker and verbal sparring partner. Some fans say that makes her real. Others say it makes her unreliable. And I'll tell you what, you just look at her and Shadesha Green. Shadesha Green, she carries herself in a really good way. She'll fire back, but you just look at the stuff Claressa Shields is saying. It almost seems like Claressa Shields is like, let me say the most ridiculous stuff to get people talking. You know what I'm saying? Let me just, the most offensive, nasty, trashiest, let me just say something that's a total contradiction from what I'm saying about being a role model, inspiring young women, how we as women need to support each other. Let me come out and say something that's the exact opposite of that, and just take it to the stupid. Let me see if I can do that, because I watched that. I'm like, can anybody really be this ridiculous, man? And that's why you need to pay attention to it, because from a branding perspective, major companies value two things above all. They value consistency and predictability, not perfection, just reliability. Even athletes with edgy personalities can secure sponsorships if companies feel confident the athlete's image won't unexpectedly damage the brand. You gotta look at Claressa Shields' image right now. What good can her image do for any brand? I'm asking a question. Somebody leave it in the comments. You tell me what can she do for somebody's brand? She'll damage that shit. She'll damage it. I ain't talking about her out there, tapping the bottle and twisting the cap. You go right there to social media and look at that shit that she types up and says. They won't touch her ass with a 10-foot pole, man. When an athlete oscillates between inspiration and confrontation, it raises corporate questions about long-term partnership viability. Claressa unquestionably has mainstream potential. I will always give her credit and say this girl should be a effing gazillionaire. She's decorated, she's media savvy, she's articulate and willing to engage, but companies also watch whether her behavior aligns with the image they want to project. And I'm telling you, man, if she continues embracing the raw, unfiltered, I'm gonna keep it real, I'm gonna keep it real. That persona, without balancing it with clarity, it may limit her opportunities with more conservative brands, though lifestyle companies that value boldness could still be a fit. But I don't know. I'm just waiting for her to come out and announce big partnerships, big endorsement deals. Same way they put on that big show, her and the 8 Man and Win Records and Demetrius Salita and all this shit. Cool. Put on another one of those because Nike's sponsoring you now because you got some $10 million deal here, some 4 year, $5 million deal here. Like, come on, talk about that. Where's that at? Where's that at? Because a person with Claressa Shields' accolades, she should have it. But you got to wonder why. Don't come out here playing the goddamn race card and shit. You got to wonder why. You got to understand with me, man. I don't buy into that race shit. Not that ain't the first thing I go to. I look at, playing your card right. You guys have heard me talk about this briefing. I've taught that briefing for fucking years. C, communication. We can stop right there with communication because how she out here speaking and shit on social media. Verbally and written. And then your nonverbals. Just right there, when playing your card right, C for communication. Verbal. How is she? Not the best. Very, very offensive. Written. Look out there on social media. Shit she typing. Very offensive. Very toxic. Then nonverbals. Watch her body language. Watch her nonverbals. So she totally fails when it comes to communication. A, attitude. Do we need to even get into that? Totally fails with an attitude. Then R, being respectful. Totally fails. Being reliable. I don't know. It depends on the direction you want to take the conversation about reliability. Then being responsible. Depends on what direction you want to take the conversation about being responsible. If you say you want to be an inspiration to young women and stuff like that, you're not being very reliable. You're not being very responsible. So it just depends on the direction you want to take the conversation. So that's the C, the A, the R, 3 R's, respectful, reliable, responsible, and the D, discipline, doing the things you don't want to do like you love it. She fails there. I ain't talking about I'm going to go run and get ready to work out. What you should be working on are the things that you don't have control over. Like, you should work on listening more and talking less. So when it comes to playing your card, which is a briefing I taught that briefing to a lot of people. I actually, to this day, if I want, I can go into an organization and I can deliver that briefing and get paid. I go into schools and give that briefing to students, elementary, junior high, and high school level. I just dumb it down here. But when it comes to her, and I watch her, and this is just how I just didn't know how my mind works. These YouTubers, I don't know. I'm just saying how my mind. I'm like, when I watch people, I'm like, they ain't playing that card right. When I watch her, that's exactly what I think. That's why I talk about it so much, because I'm like, yo, this shit is interesting to me. Someone who thinks they've made it in life, because from where she come from, she has, right. But there's so much more that's there for her. I just think she's just gotten so far away from those opportunities and those blessings coming to her. I don't know if I don't know what it's going to take for her to get back to that. But whatever successes that she's having right now, those wins can't compare to what is waiting for her if she can make some serious changes to the way she moves, man. But I'll say this. When discussing relationships, we shift into the territory of general patterns. This is something that the ladies are always talking about on the channel. Not really talking about Claressa personally, but the shoe fits where. Now, based on some research I've done, man, this psychology research, it shows that extremely outspoken, confrontational, or highly dominant personalities and women can maintain healthy long-term relationships. But compatibility depends heavily on the partner's temperament. Data suggests that relationships between two highly dominant individuals tend to experience more conflict unless one partner is skilled at emotional regulation. Public figures with big personalities tend to do best with partners who are patient, grounded, and emotionally resilient. Again, this is general, not specific to Claressa and Papoose. Their private relationship is their business, but public perception is another issue. Fans watching from the outside often struggle to imagine long term stability when a celebrity's public behavior seems chaotic, inconsistent, offensive, and toxic. Whether that perception is fair or not is irrelevant. Fans judge what they see, and when the ladies come on my channel and they talk, they judging what they see. When people on other people's channels, out there on these social media platforms, all these people doing videos, even the people who sit there and have her on their shows and do interviews, they are judging what they see. You can sit there and watch the questions they ask. They're having fun with the shit. They've already judged her. They're using her. Ain't nobody really showing her no love. That's my opinion. Because I tell you what, if she would have ever come over here, yeah, then we get views. I would never, ever ask her certain questions they ask her. Never. Never. But I don't think like that. I'd be like, all right, man, you're talking about doing it. Cool. What about school? You ever think about, taking a class or doing this in between fights, maybe go on there, man, get your little masters or something. What are some other things outside of boxing? We know that you like pat, post, pat. We know that, but I mean, what are some other things? I would take the conversation a direction towards being inspirational, being an example. I wouldn't be like, oh, let's take a shot to that. I wouldn't be like, so tell me this thing about sex. Tell me about the sex, what are you doing, Glizzy? You ain't here. You mean tell me that you ain't having sex? I wouldn't pull that corny shit like that pervert, like some perverts out here may try to pull. I wouldn't even talk about that. You're a woman, man. What would me as a man do trying to pull you into that fucking conversation? They don't even get me going with that shit, man. But I'll tell you this. Fans are going to keep judging what they see. Now, as far as marriage and marriage probabilities, no statistic can predict the outcome of a specific couple. Couples are going to do what they want, right? What we can say is that relationships involving high public scrutiny, intense lifestyles, and strong personalities face unique pressures. Celebrities who maintain stable, predictable public images usually have smoother public relationships because fans don't add pressure. When a celebrity is frequently in controversies or disputes, it can magnify strain even if the relationship itself is solid. Public perception often impacts public expectations, not necessarily the relationship itself. Whether Claressa and Papoose marry or stay together is entirely their choice, and no statistic can predict it with accuracy. The one thing we can say is that power couples succeed when both individuals communicate clearly, support each other, and create boundaries between public drama and private life. And I know the ladies are out here talking about, well, he's married, so it can't work. I hear you. I'm telling you, I hear you. But that ain't my business. And I'm going to say it again. Why should he be lonely? But I understand when you talk about you had a conversation and you're talking about that whole relationship and the branding and sponsorships and being an inspiration for ladies. What example is Claressa really setting for the sponsors to want to invest in her and for anyone to really see her as an inspiration or to inspire and motivate young women? Now, just boxing alone, yeah, she's got box check. But when you look at everything else, that relationship, I understand what the ladies are saying. With me, I really don't care. But for the ladies, I hear what y'all saying. That's why I added this piece in here to this outline, because I hear what you guys are saying. 100%. And it makes sense. What you're saying makes all the sense in the world. So we're gonna find out what direction all this is going because my thing is like, yo, what's the real challenge, man, for Claressa Shields? All that talent, all of that talent. That's not the real challenge. It's not lack of opportunities. It's not even all of the critics out here. In my opinion, I think it's identity management. That's what it is. The challenge for Claressa Shields is identity management. She's trying to embody multiple lanes simultaneously, and each lane demands a different version of her. That's why we're sitting here looking at her like, what the F is going on? What is she doing? She's saying this, she's saying that, she's doing this, she's doing that. It's just a walking contradiction, man. A role model must be disciplined and consistent. A rapper thrives on shock value. A boxer thrives on confidence. A social media personality thrives on controversy. A comedian thrives on exaggeration. A gangster persona thrives on toughness. These personas contradict each other when presented all at once. Fans don't know which version is the real Claressa, and Claressa may not be choosing one either. That creates a perception of instability, even if internally she feels completely in control. I'm telling you, that's why everyone is talking about her, because of what I just broke down right there. Embodying multiple lanes simultaneously. Each lane demands a different version of her. Role model, good. Be disciplined and consistent. Stop right there. Stop right there. Rapper, shock value. Somebody name in my kitchen, I'm gonna get it, then I grab you in the thing, and then I bite you in the ankle. Stop that shit. Be a role model, disciplined and consistent, be a boxer, thrives on confidence. Pull those two together. Smooth sailing. You in the house. You want to be a social media personality. Well, the other shit ain't gonna work out, man. Want to be involved in controversy. Want to grow my profile. Want to be the villain. Want to be a comedian, try to clown people, get exaggerate shit, try to be funny. Want to be a gangster, I'll punch you in the mouth. All that shit contradicts each other because we're getting it all at once. It's crazy. If I go and I say, they say, what do you want to eat? I say, I want this thing here, curry conch, right? You cook curry conch, I want curry conch and white rice. Don't give me curry conch and fucking fried rice. I don't want fried rice. I just want simple white rice with my curry conch. But you come give me some big old fancy composite mix of all this shit and this big old goddamn pot of fucking fried rice. I don't want that. You know what? Not saying it's necessarily bad, but it's too much. It's too much. It's too much, man. You're giving me too much at once. Too much at once. I just want white rice. With Claressa Shields, people just want her to be the boxer. Or they want her to be the role model. But they don't want you to come out here and give us all these things at once. And people don't know what the hell's really going on. Creates instability. So can anything be done? Because I'm sitting here running my mouth, right? I think, of course, something can be done about Claressa Shields. And I'm gonna tell you, I hope she can work things out. You already know what I'm gonna say. First and foremost, you know, what she need to do. And I know the lady like, oh, she need to get rid of that man. Nah. She need to apologize to Layla Ali. If she truly decides she wants to be a role model and lean into a role model persona, she needs to apologize to Layla Ali. It's okay. Take accountability. Say that, you ain't even get into too many specifics, but just come out, give a genuine apology. Because look, man, if she want to lean into that role model persona, she has the resume. She's got the story. She's got the charisma to pull it off at a high level. If she wants to be the rebellious anti-hero of women's boxing, I mean, that could work too. She could do that too. If she wants to be an entertainer, she can do it. She already has a personality. This is the thing. The problem is not who she is, right? The problem is trying to be all of it at once. It's like Claressa Shields, it's like we were out there on a beach, and Claressa Shields was the ocean. And we there on the beach, and every now and then a little small little wave would kind of roll in, then it would kind of, it would recede, right? And then sometime we there and the water kind of calm, Claressa, the ocean would kind of crest on our feet and we enjoying the ocean and everything chilling, right? Not giving us too much, you can look and see a little small, medium wave coming in, maybe see something a little bit bigger and you can kind of brace for that. But what you got with Claressa Shields, man, is we were just sitting out here chilling and this goddamn tsunami just came and hit us. We couldn't even plan for it. We just looked up and we were like, oh, shit. We getting hit with that. Just overnight, like just we sitting there chilling and just suddenly tsunami, a Claressa Shields tsunami hit us. She got makeup on. She got weave on. She going to Neiman Market and that man didn't go get it. She had Neiman Marcus. She wearing these outfits. She talking about women. She talking about this. She talking about the young lady. She talking about 8 million. She talking about a rap this shit. It's like, yo, you hit us with a tsunami of shit. Flooded us with shit. She's drowned us. Just trying to be everything at once, man. And I just want to say this: fans don't require perfection, man. They just want clarity, and brands want predictability. So if she settles on one consistent public identity, or even two, her public perception will stabilize dramatically. But I'm just gonna tell you, man. The big question. This is me. I'm gonna be honest. This is what I ask myself whenever I'm doing videos about her. My thing is, what's wrong with her? Like that's the big question. What's wrong with her? But maybe the real question is, which version of herself does she want the world to see long term? And until she makes that choice, fans will continue trying to piece together a puzzle that only she can solve. Because I'm telling you right now, she is a very complex puzzle, and I just sit back and look at her, and you know what? I just don't see. I just don't see I'm not seeing greatness. I don't, man. I see somebody who's just become destructive to themselves, and these interviews that she keeps doing, I don't know why she's being put in front of cameras. They should cut that shit out, cause it's out there now. Can't take it back. Can't take it back. When she get comfortable, boy, she really start cussing and carrying on. She really start to act a fool. And I'm sitting back watching, and I'm telling you, I'm not even here. You notice I didn't really make any jokes in this video. Normally, I'm always joking. You notice I didn't really joke, right? Because at this point in time, I'm really just trying to piece together the Claressa Shields puzzle. But only she can solve it because I'm looking, and it makes me think about myself, right? When I was younger, And there were a lot of people who saw in me a lot of potential. But I was, I put it here this way. I'm glad that there were 3 people who pulled me aside. And I'm glad they did. Because they forced me to do some things I did not want to do, caused me to get out of my comfort zone. And it caused me to kind of bring down how intense I was. You know what I'm saying? I was a very intense person, man, and I still can be. But I think about it now. Before I wouldn't think. Green light, go. Green light, go. I ain't give a shit. But those 3 cats, yo man, they squared me away. And then what happened is, once I made them, I made a lot of refinements, a couple major overhauls to my attitude. And once I did that, all of a sudden, good things started happening for me. You know what I mean? Like really good shit started happening for me. And I was like, damn. But you got to be ready to do that. You got to be someone who can actually get to you. Because if you have people around you that's just sitting here letting you think it's okay to do what you're doing, and what you're doing is hurting you, you're not going to improve. You're not going to get better. But so when I watch her, I just see a similar thing. I'm like, who the fuck is talking to her? And that's what I think. I know y'all don't really hear me cuss a whole lot, but this is me talking. I'm telling you, that's what I think. Where the fuck is the person who really truly cares about her, man? How you letting her come out here for the rest of her life? These videos are going to be here. The rest of her life, these videos are going to be here. She'll be fucking, if she's fortunate to live to 80, 90, 100, 80, 90, 100 years old. In videos out here still talking some shit about having an orgasm, talking about punching people in their mouth, sitting there talking about being an inspiration to young girls and this and that. The social media shit on Twitter, maybe you can delete it, but people screen and snapshot so much stuff and go do videos, all that's going to be out there. Somebody come and Google a name, all that shit's going to pop up. That's her real name, Claressa Shields. My name ain't Hood Champion. You could Google Hood Champion. You ain't going to find shit on me, but it's YouTube. That's what you want to be known for. That's what you want your legacy to be. 2 gold medals, all that. Nobody even talk about that shit. Y'all recognize that? Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody talks about them gold medals no more. Nobody talk about them championships. They want to see her get to the ring. She fighting Franchon Cruz. A lot of people, you got to be real. You got to favor Claressa Shields. And almost any boxing match, you got to favor Claressa Shields because she gets busy. But a lot of people are like, okay, what's going to happen here? She don't seem to be focused. She's trying to get weight off now and get in shape now. But people want to see her lose. Before, I didn't hear, let me tell you this. I didn't hear one person, I was not one person rooting to see her lose. I've never heard anyone talk about wanting to see Claressa Shields lose a fight till the late Ali bullshit. Once that popped off, like a light switch. Went from a really bright room and excited about it to dark as hell. Want to see her lose. And we ain't paying to support nothing. If we watch it, which most of they ain't gonna watch it, but I don't believe that shit. But they gonna fire stick that shit. Let me tell you something. There are a lot of older women, and I'm talking like 60 plus, who knew who Claressa Shields was, man. Was supporting her, spending their money on her. They come on the channel and openly talked about it. And then there's that, 20 to 50, 55. They were supporting her too. But anyway, we're gonna see what the future holds. Shit, she may blow up like the World Trade and go on out here and become a gazillionaire. She may do all that. Her and Pat Poose may have a little Pat Jr., little baby Gwok running around the crib and shit. It may all work out. But for me, I'm just sitting here just saying, yo, who, what, when, where, why, and how are they allowing this shit to happen? Because I ain't seeing nothing good. That's just me. And I'm trying to find the good, but man, when I saw her out there, man, tapping the bottle and twisting the cap, I said, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. You just go from one talking about orgasm and fucking. Now you talking and taking care of your man, making sure he's straight. Now you drinking liquor. But hey, she can do what she want. I'm just telling you, it's an observation. I don't care. It doesn't affect me one way or another. I don't give a shit. But I'm just watching. I'm like, I just supposed to move up the ladder, not reverse. It's like she reversing. What happened to that? I don't drink. I don't this. What happened? Talking about me and Floyd. Don't even. She should never compare herself to no Floyd Mayweather. Never, never. That man wasn't out there drinking. Floyd Mayweather doesn't drink, never drink. I believe that when he says that. But you never know. But she already, as far as her and him, and that comparison, it's over now. Get out of here. Scram. Her and Floyd should never be mentioned in the same goddamn breath. Never. Never. She didn't hold a horse. She took it to the stupid. Now she out here looking crazy. Anyway, everybody in the boxing ring get tipsy. That's what y'all do. I'm about to go eat something and relax. Watch the rest of these. I got through the first episode of the Diddy shit. Diddy kind of crazy and shit. I got through a little bit of the second episode. I'm gonna go finish. What's wrong with Diddy, man? Boys had problems for quite some time, so Diddy crazy and shit. Anyway, Diddy and Claressa Shields. I gotta do a video on both of them, man. That's what I should do, a Diddy and Claressa video. Because there's just a whole lot of content there. Anyway, man, y'all keep cool, all right? You know what I meant.